somewhere else.
It's not affecting.
Salt? No, I don't need it. Oh. We have Shmuel ben Hana. We also have a whole bunch of names here that we're going to say later tonight. The amount of Yeshuot that people have told us regarding the Hilulah is amazing, and I still keep hearing it more. It's crazy. And really, the zechut of our learning in the first shift and the second shift should be the zechut of everybody. It should be a zechut La'ilun Nishmat Shmuel ben Hana, and it should be a zechut for everybody's Shabbat and everybody's week, that they should see the Yeshuot that they're looking for. In order, we say every day, L'Shem Yechud Kusha B'rei Shchinteh. It's something that's very close to me. L'Shem Yechud. What does L'Shem Yechud mean? In order to unify. L'Shem, right? Means in order to unify the Yehud. Kutsha B'rei Shchinteh. The two names of God. What does this mean? The two names of God. We know when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, the names of Hashem, the name of Shekhinah went with Bnei Yisrael into the Galut. And in order to bring it back, every mitzvah that we do, we say in order to bring the Mashiach, and in order to bring the names closer together, when the names come close enough together, or when they reunified, then the Mashiach gets to come.
The names of?
The names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Shekhinah. And Shekhinah come together, that's when Mashiach can come. And that's called Tikkun Olam. Whether people understand it or not. Right. So, okay, so it's important to know that these things are important. Every mitzvah that you do, you should have in mind, even the mundane things you do, cleaning up the house, going to pick up your kids. What you say, and that the reason why I'm doing this is for, it's to spread, right, happiness is to spread, be happy when you do it. It's a mitzvah. Now, it's something that you could make, is take something that's mundane and turn it into a mitzvah. That's called creating something. In work, when there's no business, what do? You create a sale, you create something, you just start talking, you just make, why? Because you need to create. So same thing over here. Take something mundane and turn it into Kedusha, that is creating. And you're creating more mitzvot and acknowledging there's money on the table, you're able to grab it. These things are important. All right, so regarding money, let's go to Zera Shimshon in Tavo. Okay, but Zera Shimshon, do you have a book?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Look at the book. You listen to. The pasuk says, "Asher yeh b'yamim hahem." So if you look in the pasuk, by the way, when it talks about the Kohanim, right? Kavav, Perek Kavav, pasuk Gimel. Now, what does it say? It says about the Bikurim. Ubata el Kohen. You're going to go to the Kohen. Asher yeh b'yamim hahem, that you're going to have in your time. V'amarta elav, and you will tell him, Higati hayom la'Hashem Elokecha. Kivati ela aretz asher yishba Adonai labotenu latel lanu. Right? The bet 2. That you're telling the Kohen, Hashem's giving you a, what's it called? He's giving you he's explaining to you that you're going to get to the Kohen, and the asher yeh b'yamim hahem. And what does Rashi say on those words? En lecha ela kohen shebeyamecha kemo shehu. That whoever you have in your what? It's okay. So let me loosen my palate.
Chaza. This is the second week in a row.
It was good. And considering I wasn't around this week, that's pretty good. To tell you what, Asher b'yamim hahem, Rashi says that it's because the Kohen that you have in your time. The Kohen that you have in your time is whoever he is, whatever level he's on, that's what you got. That's what Rashi says.
Tough luck, guys. You got what you got.
You get what you get. Right? But kasher. But the question is why do we need to know how great the guy is? It's not like we're asking anything on halakha. We're not like we're asking on something that we need to know. The guy has to know the Torah backwards and forwards. He's accepting the gifts. Look what it says. What does it matter regarding Anashim Gedulim? If it's regarding something regarding halakha, right? It makes sense to say that the pasuk is saying, accept whatever Pesach halakha gives you, because that's the reason why you have who you have. But over here, right? You have what you have. He points out, by the way, it's very important. Yiftach in the Mishnah, Mishnah in the Navi, it was the lowest of the Sanhedrin. He was one of the judges, okay, in Shoftim, and the Gemara says Rosh Hashanah that Yiftach was as great as in his generation as Shemuel was in his generation, which means what? That it doesn't matter. No, it's meaning if Shmuel is the greatest in the generation, and Yiftach is the greatest in the generation, then that's the greatest guy in the generation, and he's the one that is going to go to bat for you, and that's fine, because he's it's like a title that you fill. The Zohar also says you get who you deserve, right?
In what setting?
You get, I don't know, all of
Just
them,
in general.
and all of them. You get the rabbis you get in your life, but the one you deserve them, in a good or for better or for worse. So just take the note. about Khan over here.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Right. HaKohen and lo. I'm not a rabbi. The Kohen is only accepting a gift.
Last Sunday rabbi, that's why I say everything.
Right. And so again, the Ramban, right, in his Perush on the Torah, is the same thing. He says, Ve'amarta elav, it says Ve'amarta elav, and you tell him, right? The Rashi says on that word, if you look at the Rashi, it says Ve'amarta elav she'enecha kafui tova. So you don't look like you're unappreciative. You don't act like you're unappreciative. That's what Rashi says. And Ramban asks the question, what unappreciative? You're coming to him to give him a gift. He's for sure, he's not worried about how you feel. You wouldn't be going to give him a gift if you were unappreciative of the fact that you're giving it to him. Then you just don't give it to him. So there's two questions here. The first one is why. Both of them are on the Rashi. The first one is why does the pasuk go out of its way to explain anashim gedulim, big people? The second question is what the Ramban also asks on Rashi is what's the issue of she'enu kafui tova? What do I have to worry about being unappreciative or not? Right? His actions of going and talking to the Kohen is showing that the guy's appreciative because he's the one giving to this Kohen the gift of bikurim. So what does it mean that the guy should not be that he should not be unappreciative? So listen to this unbelievable. It's really gorgeous. Okay. Zera Shimshon explains that when you put one question inside the other question, they both get answered. Explain to me how that works. I couldn't tell you, but we'll see it inside.
The rabbi with the cell phones. We were talking about the other week.
Hey.
With 20 people bringing at a time.
Oh my God, that was amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing. But no, what does that have to do with here?
You said sometimes they had the same answer for a few people.
No, I never said that. I said no. I said they answered a few people at the same time. Very different. So, well, Lefisha mitzvah is.
Sounds like the same answer for several people. How do you answer several people at the same time?
Not the same answer.
It sounded like that. I remember thinking the same thing.
Oh, well, that would be not good. That would be kind of an issue.
Or it just could be such a great rabbi.
That what? That gives you the same answer? No.
They can give it the same answer with different questions, and that's all exactly what those people need to hear. That's
Okay. Could be. Fine. This wasn't the case, but that's fine. Okay, so what's the mitzvah, right? What does the Kohen do when you bring the bikurim? What do? The Kohen does the tenufa, right? He does the wavy. He goes up, he goes down, right? And what's the kavanah of doing this? You bring the bikurim, you have your field for 3 years, you don't touch it. Okay, now the first fruits come, you take it, you mark it,
right.
You bring it to the Kohen, and then you give it to him as a gift, and you give him a whole spiel. You say, my father, went to Lavan. We went down to Mitzrayim. Hashem brought us into Israel. I was able to plant the field, and these are the fruits. That's the lid. So it's scripted inside the Pesukim.
Okay.
It says what you say. And so he's explained that. And what does the Kohen do? He takes his under the hand of the guy, and now they wave it up and down. They go like this, and they go up, and they go like this sideways. What is the kavanah? What's the tenufa about? He explained the tenufa is lekaven la'atzor ruchot ra'ot, to have in mind to eliminate any bad winds that might come up the following year for the field. You have bad winds; they're crazy winds.
Or from any direction. Yeah,
because it could rip out. It could ruin the field, right? And the second thing is also geshamim v'talterim la'im, and also bad rains. If the rain comes at the wrong time,
I was like dew.
Bad dew, which is no. We're older now. We don't make those jokes anymore.
I didn't get what he said.
Good. Neither did I.
Well, if it's wrong rain,
I was
like,
picking up on what you said, bro.
could ruin the wheat crop if the rain is too late.
Right, the rain too late, the rain's too early, the wind, right.
Rain,
So the
bad.
Kohen is Davka saying
enough
all these
rain,
things.
bad.
The Kohen Davka is saying all these things, right? Because why? Because Mishum Hachi, and so the Zera is explaining, but this is brought up. First of all, the Tenufa is brought up in Makot, and the Kavanah that he has in Sukkah. There's Masechet Sukkah that says, what's the concept of this? Is to show you that they're going to eliminate the rains, or eliminate the bad winds from coming. It's like, imagine you have a store and you give you bikurim, and now he's going to make sure, he's going to pray that you don't have any competition. Nobody new opens up next to you. Right? Or no new taxes coming, something like that. This is what the Kohen's having in mind when he does the tenufah. Right? And mishum haki, and for that reason, you need to say, the Rashi has to say, En lecha ela kohen shebeyamecha, that you only have the Kohen that's in your time. Keloma, what does that mean? En lecha dachshov v'loma, don't think whether this guy is hashuv or not. Don't start thinking, is this rabbi? The rabbi gave me beracha. Is it a good beracha? Is it not a good beracha? I don't know.
How much reception does he have?
Yeah, don't start sizing up the rabbi. Don't stop sizing up the Kohen. Okay? Like, is this Kohen strong enough that he's able to actually get rid of the reins? I mean, are we sure about that? Are we ready for that? Right? B'kavanat tefilato, regarding the kavanah b'tefillah, you understand? What does it say? It said what the pasuk says. Rashi explains, right? En lecha kohen ela shebeyamecha, right? You only have the kohen that you have in your time, right? Which means what? You have what you have. You get what you get. He's explaining that shebeyamecha means why? To dissuade the person from trying to say, the kavanah of the kohen is to eliminate all the bad rains or something from happening. So you know what? How do I know this guy is the right guy? This is my one shot. Maybe he's not a good guy. Maybe he's not a good kohen. So the pasuk davka says. So Rashi is davka saying that whoever you get, you get. Right? Kohen shebeyamecha. You only have the kohen that you have. So your perspective cannot be in a negative way. You understand? It has to be positive. Your kohen that you go to, you only have the one that you have in the day. That means what? You deal with you get what you get. And by the way, what's the reason that we say you get?
It's not just that you get what you get, but that this Kohen
Is the right kohen.
Yeah, he's
How are you?
capable
Baruch
of.
haba.
He has the capacity to pull that off.
So don't start wondering, does he have does he have it in him to pull it off or not?
He is able to. You don't have to wonder.
Set him
about
up.
it.
Set him up.
If you don't eat, you're not allowed to be.
Right. It's kind of, you're not off. Eat, please. What's the reason? But what's the reason, by the way, that you can't worry? Because the pasuk that we have in Shemuel, it says, Ki Hashem yireh la levav. Hashem sees inside the heart. Okay? Ve'ila belibo deponeh lemal birat Hashem. Lo haya ole lidula. And if Hashem did not want this Kohen to go up, he would never be Kohen. You have
That's
to-
exactly what I
Say the
want to
same
say.
thing.
It's not on what you deserve.
You can take
Or what you have.
No, the next one's the right one.
Because it sounds.
The next one's the ready one. That stuff's not even ready yet. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yeah. Go ahead, Reuben.
It's not on what you have. What you have. You happen to have this, so enjoy it. By the tenets, by the basics of Judaism, we know that whatever it is you're in, whatever you have, is the best thing
For you.
right now.
Yeah. So that's
And
but
therefore you shouldn't say,
but that's
well,
different.
well,
Over here, we're
why
saying the
is it
Kohen that
why
became a
is it-
Kohen is a Kohen because Hashem wants him to be a Kohen. He knows what's inside the heart,
And
which
what
means he
you
knows.
need right now too. That's more.
The question is that
You know, it's
that's
the
the
same
case with
thing
everything. So why
as
spec-
Birkat Kohanim.
That's the case with everything. So why specify it now? Anything that happens because Hashem wanted it to happen. So why are we making it a specific?
Because when it comes to money, people become a lot more religious, a lot more medakdek. You're going here to get a beracha for your business. Okay, Yosef, you go in this, and then by the way, there's 1,000 Kohanim you're seeing, and now you get the one Kohen with no beard or whatever. I don't know. You don't look right, and you're like, oh shoot, that's the guy I got.
It's true, it's true. Somebody said, why did you?
You understand? Dabka here to say that you have the Kohen that you get is right for you because Hashem knows. By the way, Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi's son. Remember, we know this Gemara Berachot. He passed away. He came back up and he said, "No, what'd you see?" Right, Olam Hipuch. I saw the opposite. The people I thought would be in Geinam were in Gan Eden, and people that I thought would be in Gan Eden were in Geinam. Why? Because he's explaining that you don't know what's inside. You don't know.
He didn't say anything, you know. He said the
Oh,
Huh?
He said the man. He didn't say Genom and Galeden.
Well, that's kind of the same thing, no?
Is it?
It sends the same message.
But you know, they say the same thing about Birkat Kohanim. It's such a big blessing.
It's the most
It is
important
this
beracha
big-
you get every
yes,
day.
But it's not from
The
the Kohen.
Shekhi,
They're just the messengers that are sent.
they are the
out.
message. That's correct. They are the emissaries of Hashem.
Yeah.
Kol
Because-
Baruch
Huh?
We say Kol Baruch Hu, they also get blessed.
Right.
What
But
about Chod B'nai Yisrael?
you don't realize it's a beautiful Zohar in Parashat Pekudei that says that when the Shekhinah comes down, when the Kohanim go up to say Kohanim,
Uh-huh.
right? The Shekhinah comes through the windows, through the halonot. Halonot is a big concept, okay? In the shul, halonot are a big deal. They go through the halonot, through the fingers of the Kohanim, because their hands up, and it goes through and it goes spreads through the beracha among the people. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
I was told one. I almost.
I think you should move this back a little. I think it's very close.
Those too close to you.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm saying, like, maybe get a little bit other than my face.
You can get a permanent setup. Right? You usually do from the corner.
Whatever. So let's continue. So by the way, that gives you two reasons. Now you might say, now Yosef has a very good question. Yosef has a question. Yosef said, but if that's true, how do you explain someone like Bnei Eli, the children of Eli? Remember, the sons of Eli weren't so hatzitazi, but they were Kohanim. So now, what about them? So now it gives you the second answer, because we said that Hashem knows who's really good, and that's why he's at his position, because Hashem wants him to be there. So if that's the case, what about a case like Bnei Eli, which we had some not so great Kohanim in our history?
What was
So-
the story about Banana?
Please keep in mind that when you're making brachot, to have
More
shmona
benefit.
nine. Thank you.
They weren't the most cleanest. They were the wayward sons. They weren't great.
It would take something from the.
It was rough. Whatever. Without getting into it.
There was
We're not getting into it, no
But
worries.
they whatever. They weren't great, and Eli didn't reprimand them, so everybody got punished. It wasn't great.
Okay.
But so now the second one, look at this. This is the most important part. ועוד בעשיית המצווה, השפע מתפשט לעולם בחסד השם, אף אם העושה מצווה אינו מכוון בייחודים ובסודות. This is gorgeous. It says when a person does the mitzvah of this bikurim, the shefa that comes out, what does shefa mean? Abundance, if you will. And where does it come from? It comes from Shamayim. It comes downward. If he's saying that the bikurim, the shefa will still come down into the world with hesed, through the hesed of Hashem, even if the guy doesn't have the right kavanah.
His mind is elsewhere.
Kavanah.
His mind is elsewhere, but the bracha is still coming through. The chef is still coming through. He's just the vehicle.
Yeah, well, there's a story about this. I told this actually to a friend of mine, Mars Arking. I saw it at a wedding last night, and so I was explaining to him about the Shem Yehud. We actually were talking about the Shem Yehud, and he tells me, "Well, you should have heard my video on it, because in Halab they would only the Mekubalim would say the Shem Yehud." I told him, yes, but today's day and age,
Maran was against saying.
okay, why? Because it was meant, if you didn't have the right kavanah, it wasn't good. But you have on the other side of the coin, this is what I told him. I said, you had the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, right? They tell them why they're saying certain things. They don't know what they're doing. So the commoners, they're saying these heavy stuff, they don't know what they're doing. Nope. So he looks up and he smiles and he says, and it still works. And yet it still works. That's what the Baal Shem Tov says. Yet it still works.
Chesed Hashem.
You know, that's the Hesed Hashem we're talking. So even if the Kohen doesn't have the right intentions, right, the Hesed is still going to come down. So he gives you two answers of why he needs to tell you get who you get. The first one is that Hashem knows what's in the hearts of the person. So you could be talking to a great tzaddik and you never know, because he's just a regular guy. He's acting like a regular. He might not look the part, or his beard might not be as long enough. Doesn't matter. You don't know nothing. You don't know. Who knows who's a good, who's bad? You don't know. Huh? Yeah. There you go.
I feel like the other day at Chos night, there was an old guy with a long white beard, but he didn't look like normal. But really, after speaking to him, at first I thought he was Schnorrer, because he sat like all the Americans or that kind of table.
What's Schnorrer mean?
Schnorrer, like a guy coming to get money.
Somebody collecting money.
It's good you don't know that word, Baruch Hashem. Anyway,
Now he does.
the MS, he just seemed to be really special. Like after a short time talking to him, everything-
I have a saying. You never know who Eliyahu Navi is.
that was the
You
afterthought.
never know.
Shlomo.
I had a feeling.
Yeah?
Shlomo Carlebach would, yeah, come on. There's a million songs. You never know. Like, you never know. And he would always say, you never know who you're talking to. You never know if the other person.
That was one of his
really
famous lines,
Hidden
yeah.
Lamed Vav Tzadikim. Could be talking to
You never
Eliyahu
know.
Navi, the beggar on the street. You never know.
Somebody's fighting internally.
You never know.
That's why it's important to always smile.
Yeah.
Make a nice comment.
Who you been hanging out with, Yosef? Okay, so these are the two things that we need. Okay, so these are the two answers of why Dav Karashi has to go out of his way to say you only have the Kohen that you have. Right now, let's continue. Amartai Elav, and you're going to tell him. What does that mean? You're going to tell him. And Rashi says she'encha kafui tova, that you're not going to be unappreciative. Right? What does that mean? Okay, this is great. I'll tell you a story. There was a guy. I had a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine. Great guy. Okay, I won't say his name just because if he hears it, maybe he might be beat. He doesn't want to hear it.
Get some initials going.
Actually, that was his initials. EB. I meant to say embarrassed, but EB actually is his initials. So that's why I went like this. So we grew up. So I worked at a wholesale company for about 7 years of my life, right? 3 years in one place, 4 years in another. And when I went, one of them told me that this guy who has 20 locations, 20 retail locations, about 5 years ago, something like that, the guy didn't have a dollar to his name. And the guy would always be paying late and they could never. And I said, he tells me, the guy that I work with goes, and no one knows what happened, how it happened. So, okay, fine, very nice. This guy, this customer, this retailer, we became very good friends, right? One time we go out to dinner together because he would come in and we go for dinner. So we're going to dinner, we're talking this and that, whatever. So I tell you, I got to ask you a question. Yeah, sometimes you put your foot in your mouth, sometimes you don't. It's really a 50-50 with me. You don't know. But I said, let me take it a shot. I told him the story. I told, what happened? What'd you do? So he goes, Charles, I'll tell you. He goes, nobody knows, but I'll tell you. You ready? It's crazy. He goes, I had one store and I couldn't pay my bills. I didn't even have food for Shabbat. I was really, you have no idea how rough it was for me. And on my worst timing, a guy came to me with something that we could do that we would 100% not get caught. And we would make a lot of money. And I had no money. I had nothing. Okay? He's telling me this. He goes, I had nothing. And I told him no. Told him it's not the right thing. No. And he tells me he believes because he said no, Hashem rewarded him. Hashem gave him that barakah. It's crazy. You never know.
That desperation that he said no to it. Yeah.
So if you see, why am I mentioning this? Because if you see someone in the street, they can say, oh, the guy made some good moves, good locations and that, and that's what he is. We don't do that. There's a pasuk, we go by God. When we're in trouble, we pray. We read Tehillim. A broken heart, Hashem does not have bizayon on that tefillah. He takes that tefillah and he loves that tefillah. When it says ve'amaratai love, specifically that you're not unappreciative, because when the good does come from the beracha, do not attribute it to what you did or what the regular people would tell you did. Oh, it was a good season, a good this, a good that. No. Remember, it's from the beracha of the Kohen. Remember, it's from the beracha of Kohen. Right? So therefore, it's coming to warn you. Ve'amaratai elav davka. You tell him specifically that that I'm taking you seriously. I'm giving my bikurim. You are the one. I know the beracha comes from the Kohen. So that's why, you understand the difference? That's why, again, it's an important message because we have to realize we do not run the world. And I don't care if a guy got a PhD in 7 different things. It doesn't mean you're going to make money. I'll tell you that for sure. Doesn't mean you're not. Doesn't mean you will. It doesn't work that way. God's the one that decides who gets what and when they get. Okay, and that's what we have to understand. That's the thing that you have to know. All right, now let's turn to page. We're going to go to, let's do a little crazy. Let's go to Daled. I told you some good stuff. Now let's go a little, don't forget, we got a lot of curses in this parasha, boys.
Musa.
You have a Gimaran Sota. Everyone have Daled? 4. What's the page in the art scroll?
507.
Yep, you have a Gimaran Sota. Okay, Lamed Zay.
That's the breakdown of why the Shabbatim were broken down, who was on each mountain.
Shehayanu Kimanu Vigano Lazman Hazeh.
I'm just worrying about it. I'm wondering about it.
Not worrying.
How's it going, buddy?
Hello. Hey! What's doing? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. What's doing, big guy? Your son. What's your name? Binyamin. Nice to meet you. What you wanted to run down about what?
There were particular.
Set him up. Set him up.
There were particular.
Mordechai, back to work. Mordechai, that's it.
There were particular shvatim on.
Oh, Eval and yeah, you had.
Discuss why those shvatim were chosen.
I remember learning something. Nice, very nice job. Very nice job. There was everybody but Shimon was what? There's a reason. I don't know. There's definitely a reason. I didn't look into it.
Because Shimon took a Midianite, the leader of his tribe.
Yeah. Oh, so he wasn't there for the.
I read it in the on the Chabad app today.
All right, good. All right, so let's go. So since we got a kid in the room, we're gonna skip Dalit.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you. Woo!
And let's go to. All right, since we mentioned a little. We'll go to Hay. We'll go to Hay. Go to Hay, the next one. Okay.
Friendly reminder for those of you who just entered.
Right.
Please make the brachot.
The Lunishman.
My grandfather Shmuel ben Chana.
All right.
Tonight is your night.
Why do we light? By the way, I have a whole set of yahrzeit candle. Why don't you light one for him?
I lit one in my house.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure two's not there. Messing with you.
Your stuff is machbul.
Oh, very nice. Oh, beef jerky.
It's not a
All right, listen.
exactly jerky, but it's similar.
All right, we have a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat. Okay, Nun Hey Amud Bet. You have a Braita. Rabbi Shimon ben Rabbi Elazar Omer, Mutzal oto sadik meoto avon, velo ba maaseh ze leyado. אפשר להטיל זרו לעמוד על הר עיבל ולומר ארוש שוכב עם אשת אביו ויבוא חטא זה לידו. We're talking about Reuven. I'm talking about you. You didn't answer my message.
Yeah, tell me.
I said, are you coming?
Yes.
Okay, good to know. Come here, shake my hand.
I can steal one if I can.
How's your summer?
Good, great.
Oh my God, his voice got so deep. Where did that happen?
I'm actually looking for a job.
Yeah, do vocals for sure. Yeah. All right, set them up. Good. We got challenge. We got Mordechai. What do you think this is here? First, I do want to give a shout out to Mordechai for really thank you for covering me for the summer. Okay, you were not here, that I couldn't thank you in person, but I want to thank you. We have to realize that Torah does not stop. Torah doesn't stop.
You
understand me? Huh? Yeah, of course.
What's in the package on the ceiling? Is that just Vayikra?
That's for sale. Yeah, it's Vayikra. The Vayikra, what's it called?
Wow.
By the way, whoever did not know, there was almost 500 people at the Hilulah. 480 plus people were at the Hilulah. It was amazing. It was a big zichut.
Yeah.
And by the way, a guy came over to me and told me that he had a what's it called? A kollel in Kever Rachel that learned Zera Shimshon every Thursday night. 6 guys, 5 of them needed children, and 5 of them had children. You heard me? 5 of them needed children and had children. The guy told me himself. No, they're not there anymore. Yeah, politics. No politics. Because there's another kollel there. But you understand? The whoever needs Yeshua, learn Zera Shimshon. You have the Haftarah from the Sadiq Rein Meforash. Learn it. Pay attention to it. The Art School did a great job on it. You have to learn. You need Yeshua. This is what we do. We explained before that they go by Ele Barechiv, Ele Basusim. They go by their swords and whatever. By the way, you wanted something funny? I'm at the gym on Monday, and I see all these what's it called? All these words or phrases from all these bodybuilders. He likes to put things up. So I tell the guy, my trainer, I tell him it's private. I tell him, I go, you couldn't find one pasuk to put up there, nothing. You couldn't find nothing. The whole Torah has got everything in it. You can tell me nothing. So he tells me, you find it, I'll put it up. That's what he tells me. I said, accepted, challenge accepted. The next day, I'm doing Chokle Israel. Randomly, I see a Mishnah in Sotah, Perek Het. What does the Kohen tell the people before going out to war? Okay, it was like a scene from Braveheart. He screams and he tells them, not that part. He says, I set myself up for that. He said, well, no, that's Yeshua. Moshe, that's Yeshua. No, he says, I'll give you the short version. He says, the Pelishtim, where are they today? Goliath, where is he today? Bnei Ammon, where are they today? All these guys come against Bnei Israel. Where are they today? They're nowhere. They're dead. They're buried. We are up and we are alive. Why? Because we go out with Shem Hashem. That's Hashem el Kohen. No, so it's gonna be. I can't. Hashem el Kohen halech imachem lehilachem lachem. But I'm gonna give. But it's not just gonna be the pasuk because you're not gonna. You know all that pasuk, but you know I want the words the Kohen got or the Kohen that came out. So I'm writing Pelishtim efohem hayom Goliath Bnei Ammon. Where are they today?
It's too long.
It's think from the Torah. So analytical.
It needs to be like a really big poster.
No, what it's gonna be? No, I'm gonna put a picture. No, so it's gonna be a picture. Huh? That's not good enough for teenagers going to work out. Put that in the library. Don't put that in the gym. It's in the gym.
I get it.
Yeah, Koveshet Yitzro.
Yeah.
Falls down the soft
It
end.
ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. But I want to put a picture. I want to put a picture of all, like a whole, like a part of the army, like the Sahal. And I'm gonna Photoshop a picture of like the rabbi, like going like this, and I'm gonna try to make it whatever. So it's visual. You can understand the Kohen talking to all of this. So I called my nephew who's in the army. Sorry, my nephew who's in the army. Okay, hold on. Let's just because he doesn't understand. You're interrupting. You're bothering me. Okay, bye. Okay. That's Aviva. So again, so listen, so I want to, so you see visually, so I tell my nephew, I tell him, you have a picture of like 1,000 soldiers? He was in the army. He goes, 1,000? No, but I have of 80. It's like, all right, give me what you got. So he sent me a couple of things, and a couple of them might be good, so I'll send it out to the one that actually do it. Yeah, it's cool. We can make it work, on or off.
Put it on the chat when it's done.
Okay, there we go.
No, leave it on.
It's on, but we're gonna make it colder.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now let's go to Derash. Hey, so again, with the mahloket is, did Reuven sin? Now, half of you might be asking me, what are you talking about? And I'll tell you, this is a pasuk that people really roll over. Get me Shahari, give me Bereshit, please. Right there. No, give me the brown one. The brown one's better because that's much. Right there, that one, sticking out. There you go. Okay, so if you look, I think it's in Vayishlach. No. After Rahel dies, you have a pasuk. Okay, boys, settle down. You have a pasuk that says that Reuven sleeps with Bilhah. What? Where did that come from? Yeah, they don't teach that to you in school. And what happened? It happens where,
They got rest.
No, it doesn't say they got rest. Rashi says that what did he do? He took he moved the bed of his father to his mother's tent.
Oh, of course.
Because his tent was normally by what's it called?
That's because of the Dudaim, no?
Nope, no, different. Yeah, I got it.
He laid with her?
So the pasuk says, "Vayi bishkon Yisrael ba'aretz ahi vayelech Reuven vayishkav et Bilha bilegesh avi vayishma Yisrael vayu bnei Yaakov shrim asad." You ready? So it says that so it says vayishkav et Bilha, but that's not the word you use when you actually sleep. It says vayadat. You know, right? So what does it mean over here vayishkav? So if you look down here, it says mitoch shebilbel mishkavo. He switched up. What's his name? He switched up Yaakov's bed. He put his bed that was normally Rahel. Now, once Rahel passed away, so he's going to put his bed with Bilhah, because it's associated with Rahel. But Reuven took it, and he didn't want that. Just like the Rahel, Leah lived in the shadow of Rahel. He didn't want that she would live in the shadow of Rahel's maidservant. So therefore, he moved the bed into the other one. So he says, so now there's a mahloket. Did Reuven sin or not? Did he actually, Vayishkav, look, the words say, Vayishkav et Bilhah. You can't ignore it. I mean, it's kind of written there for a reason. So what's going on? You understand, Kevin? We have a Gemara in Shabbat that says, did Reuven sin or not? How could he sin? Because what it says in the pasuk in Vayishlach, that he Vayishkav et Bilhah, which means sleep. He slept with Bilhah. But Rashi says, it's mahloket. Did he really sin or not? Why? Because they said that he moved his bed, his father's bed, Yaakov's bed, from the tent of Bilhah into the tent of Leah, Reuven's own mother.
So that part we already know about, and now the part he was punished for.
So one second, we're going to get there. Correct. But his father reprimanded him for doing something in haste.
Right.
If you look at the words, that's what he did. He didn't say he slept with no. But what does it say? So Rabbi Shimon ben Rabbi Elazar says that the one that it couldn't be that he actually sinned. Why? Because it wouldn't be that Hashem would put that shevet, his shevet of Reuven, on Har Eval that would say the words Arur shochev im eshet aviv. Because it's because that's a big embarrassment to the whole tribe. To actually say the words of what my great grandfather actually did is shame. Is bringing shame to the family. So that's Rabbi Shimon, his explanation saying it's not, Reuven did not sin. Barur. No, the word, well, you're right. You're saying that I'm going to, but the words of the Gemara is that it wasn't going to be shameful. It was shameful for the Shevet. Nakshim, right? The question is what? Why don't you prove that Reuven didn't sin from an earlier episode? Like what? The Gemara, Rabbi Shimon is showing from what happens in Al Parshat Tavo. That's proof that Reuven didn't sin because he wouldn't put him there if that was actually bad, if he actually did it. But the Zera Shimshon is asking a great question. Why could you use something earlier? Why? Yosef HaSadiq, right? With Eshe Potifar. Where's the connection?
How's that earlier?
What do you mean has that earlier? No, the Gemara is bringing a proof from Kitavo. Why don't you bring it from the what's it called, from Vayeshev or whatever, wherever Potifar. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the story of Reuven and Bilhah.
No, right, no.
You were talking about that as earlier.
Right, no. Okay, so it says, why did you use it from earlier the situation where it has in Masechet Sotah that Sheratza Yosef is that when Yosef was going with Eshe Potifar, right? The image of his father came to him in the window, and he says, Yosef, Atidin Ahecha Shikadwa Al Bnei Ephod. In the future, all your brothers are going to be written on the ephod of the Kohen Gadol. Do you want that your name will not be there? Okay? So, Retzoncha sheyimahe shimcha mibenehem. Do you want that your name is going to be erased from among them? So why here also, why Hakanam here also, you could also say that if Reuven sinned, his name would not be on the breastplate. Hello, you had Yaakov.
He's already stepped out to be one of the 12 tribes.
How did he sin? Because Yaakov warned Yosef, if you do it,
Yosef, but not Reuven.
what's the difference? By the way, the pasuk actually says, "Vayu b'nei Yaakov shalem asar," which means that they're shalem. All 12 are equal. You understand? So if Yaakov was giving the warning to Yosef, Hashem Ephraim. Okay, so it's them. It's him. Yosef is split into two.
I know.
Yosef is split into two. So it's
His name is not there. He did lose the name.
fair point, but it's still his.
I
But
think
he
it's more,
split.
It's even in a higher level because it's split into
Right, but you got real estate, my friend. You got two spots.
That's two Conways right there.
Split.
What does that have to do?
Well, it's a good question.
Okay, good. So
They were a bit ambivalent about crossing over.
irrelevant. So is Reuven.
Right.
Thank God. And done. Sorry, done.
The first.
But that's not relevant. Why don't you're trying to prove that Reuven did not sin? Why don't you take it from Yosef that Yaakov tells Yosef, if you sin, your name is off, you're out. So then the fact that Reuven's name is still on, that means that he didn't sin. The fact that his name is still on means he didn't sin. So why don't you just use that as a proof?
Use the other wording that you mentioned previously as well.
Which ones?
That he knew her and didn't.
Because he does, because that doesn't prove.
That would have been a sure
Look,
thing.
you kind of have the word Vayishkav. It's kind of an elephant in the room. That's a big deal. It says Vayishkav. He slept with. So that's a big thing. Huh?
It's bediavad.
Huh? What?
You said his name is on, still on. It's bediavad.
No, because then Yaakov told Yosef, if you do this, you're out.
Yeah.
So that means if you did it, you'd be out.
Yosef was held to a different
No,
higher standard.
no,
Why
it's not true.
Why not?
We don't do that.
Moshe Rabbeinu was.
It happens
No,
to be the
they're
connection
all
was
12
there. Yosef
all 12
ultimately
sons
married
was
a
Shalem.
son, which was his daughter.
All the 12 sons was Shalem, and it says in the Zohar that's the reason why they wanted to get Yosef out, because they didn't think he was Shalem, so they wanted to get him out. The 12 sons was Shalem. One was not on a different level than the other. Sorry. So now, the question is why the fact that Reuven's name is on the ephod, why is that not enough to prove that he didn't sin? That's the question. How do we know that that would make him
Someone else sinned and their name's on there for those. Who?
someone with
Binah
Arayot?
Jewish? Was Binah Jewish?
With who?
I'm just trying to think. Oh, it has to be specifically with Arayot.
For a small fee of 25 shekels.
Eshet Ish.
Yehuda?
I'm waiting for you to tell me. Eshet Ish. She was divorced. Almana divorced. She's Almana.
Who was?
Yehuda's son was married to Tamar. The Yehuda's son passed away. Yehuda tells Tamar, "Wait here," and then a couple of everybody then sends him out. That's what. But good one. I was waiting for you. I was wanted to see you. Good. So Zera Shimshon said. That's proof that he didn't do it. So why can't you use? Why is the Gemara using something that happens in Tavo when you could have just used something that was much sooner, much more original?
Maybe Shimon and Levi?
What Arayot? Arayot Eshet Ish. We're talking a married woman.
Was that the problem with
Yeah.
Potiphar?
Oh, wait a second. No, that's not. Potiphar's not Eshedish.
100%. Goya is still Eshet Ish, my
was a
friend.
married woman.
She's not.
Eshet Potiphar.
Just because.
Potiphar is the man.
She's married to a good guy.
Yeah, but just because her husband was.
Eshet Ish is not only for Jews. Sorry.
Sure about that?
100%. 100%. Eshet Ish across the board. Is that a problem?
The only reason why I'm thinking that is because if someone sleeps with a married woman, non-Jewish woman, and they have a kid, the kid's not a mamzer.
That's different.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I was
But-
thinking that potentially.
But
because of
the guy's still Oved on very good, but the guy's still Oved on Eshet
Yes,
Ish.
but we're.
Okay, now look. So Ledidan lo kasha klal. By the way, it's a great question, no? Don't you think that's a solid question? So he says, for us, not so hard to understand. Don't you love that, boys? I was actually sitting, I was also last night at the wedding. One guy says he's learning Rambam and it's very hard, or the Hakdama to Mishnayot. He goes, I really couldn't get it. And the other guy says, no, you read this, it's very easy. So I turned to both of them and I go, don't you hate it when you don't understand something and the other guy says it's really easy to understand? It's a little bit, I'm coming to you for a reason. I go, okay, so Lidan lo kasha klal. Why? Because what could you say? That why not use the early pasuk? Because right after the maaseh it says v'yush bnei Yaakov shneim asad. Uchmo sheochiach sham Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani. So he's saying you could even use an early pasuk, I think, or the same pasuk that it says that bnei Yaakov is 12 sons, and use that. And also Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani says whoever says that Reuven sinned is mistaken. To'eh. Okay? Why To'eh? The Dilma, this ties into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The Dilma avad teshuvah. Maybe the guy made teshuvah. We don't have, our world is not a one-way street. Why? What do you mean? First time I came, I started giving classes, I tell everybody that you're always thinking about your past sins, and you're like, I don't accept that. Now I'm telling you that the guy is teshuvah and the guy's clean, and you still don't, 4 years later, you don't like it. What's the matter? Analytical. Like it says, right? By the way, it's a great word. It says on the pasuk, when Yaakov reprimands Reuven, he uses the word pahaz, and the Tanaim will hold that he did or did not sin. They say the word pahaz because if you look at the pasuk, it's extra. He uses it as a they use it as the Rashi Tevot. And the one that, because you have Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Elazar Amodai, that says Pahaz means that he sinned, right? And I'm sorry, they says that he said Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yoshua says that he did sin. I'm sorry again. Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Elazar Amodai says that he did not sin. Reuven did not sin. And on the other side, you have Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yoshua that says he did sin. All right, and they each one say what the extra word Pahaz Pei Hed Zayin means. But with what Rabban Gamliel Rabbi Eliezer Modai says, he says he zata, that he sweated and he trembled, and he retata and he drew back, parha het mimecha, and the sin drew away from you, which means that the Reuven had the desire, wanted to do it, but he was so scared to do it, he pulled back and he did not, and because he pulled back. It was like as if he didn't do it because it's just another test. And that shows from here that he passed the test. That's the way he used
He
it.
didn't do it.
He did not do it.
Right. It's not as if he didn't do it, because he didn't do it.
He didn't do it, right. So exactly. Right. Well, it is like you said, right.
So that's why they use the shachafta and not the other one.
Huh?
So that's why they use the terminology that they use of the shachafta and not the yadata.
Right. Well, right. No, that is very solidification there. It's a problem. That's the thing. But so hachinami over here, you could say that you cannot bring a re'ayah from the ephod. Remember, the whole time we said, why can't you bring a re'ayah? No, bad idea. Why bring a re'ayah from the ephod? You should bring, right? We said, why can't you bring a proof from the ephod? Because we're saying that he could have made teshuvah, and if he would have made teshuvah, then his name would have been back. He would have been fine, right? Because maybe right after he sinned, Shema asa teshuvah. Maybe that's why. So you can't use the ephod. Remember, the question of the Gemara is, why doesn't he use this as proof that that he didn't sin? That fact that his name is on the ephod, right? And what do we answer? We answer because maybe he made teshuvah right away. And if he made teshuvah right away and it was accepted, there's no issue. You understand? Good. However, had eval is really the better proof. Why is had eval the better proof? Because if the truth is, if he really did sin, right, Hakadosh Baruch Hu would not bring the descendants of him, of Reuven, to had eval, even if he did make teshuvah, because it's still an embarrassment to the shevet.
I mean, it kind of, when it shows up and like the words weren't said beforehand, it just comes as a surprise reading through the Parshat that Moshe doesn't just say there's going to be blessings and curses and what the blessings and curses are, but then he actually names the tribes that are supposed to give the blessings, and he names the ones. It's like a shock, like whoa, sons of Israel are supposed to be giving the curses.
But you know, if you look into it more deeper, the curses, if you look at, but the curses are not really curses.
Right.
You have to know that, because if not, you're gonna freak out and you're gonna be scared.
But there's a little bit. It's like it's a little bit. I mean, there may be righteous cause, but it's a little bit jarring that Reuven leads the pack of cursors, and you're like, oh.
So by the way, it's even more so because that's exactly what he's saying. Zera Shimshon is saying that exactly now, that if Reuven really did sin, he would not be the first one to start with the curses, especially about Ish and Ish.
He couldn't stand there in front of the people.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Right? And just like Rashi said, by the right, he wouldn't make his children, Reuven's offspring, the ones that are cursing. Right? Like Rashi says, like Rashi brings. Even if he did make teshuvah, it still reminds you of the sins of the future, of the original. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. He wouldn't do that. So the fact that Reuven was at the shevet of Reuven was at Harav is a better proof than the ephod. Because why not the ephod? Because the guy could make teshuvah. Listen to me. Hey, if you do something wrong, have you done something wrong?
Never. Too many times.
Okay, the one time he did something really bad and he felt bad and he told your mother and your father that you're sorry. Does it work? Please tell me you said you're sorry.
Yeah, I never the big bruise, but if I'm lucky.
That's fine. I didn't ask you that. My mother hit first, ask questions later, so I don't go for that. Someone asked me, he goes, did your father ever hit you? I go, no, not too much. My mother, though. My mother didn't. So, but when you say you're sorry, could be.
When I say sorry, all it does is lets my mom know that she knows I'm sorry, but it makes her like want to hit me to teach me an extra lesson, you know? Okay, he knows that he needs to be sorry, but now I need to teach him the other lesson.
Listen to me. Whenever somebody does anything wrong and they admit it, it makes the relationship stronger.
Yeah.
It makes the relationship stronger.
See?
You understand? Because now we know that you did something, you tested out the water, you saw that it's wrong, and thank God the person comes back. Now you know what's out there, but you said that you could say through experience that is wrong. I want to be here. You understand? And you can only do that through experience. But the answer is don't start going out and try stupid things, okay? Because that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to walk through Derech Hashem and walk the right way. When you fall, because unfortunately we fall, when you fall, it's don't stay down and get up. And understand? You understand? That's the key. And that's when you apply the rule of when I'm together, when I do something wrong, I get back up and I'm still in. Why? Because Hashem knows that He created the Yetzer Hara, and He knows that we're going to fall. The difference is, are you going to blame yourself forever or not? Or are you just going to get up and fix it?
Gedalia Pensa says it's not about the fall, it's about the getting up.
Always. So Davka, that's why you can't prove it from the ephod, because you can still have the name on the ephod if you make the shuvah, and that's why Hareval is the better one. So, but what's the question? By the way, now we answer the question Yosef of Reuven, but we have a question on Yosef. A very big question on Yosef. Maybe Yosef also couldn't make teshuvah. Why did Yaakov come and tell him that if you sin, you're out? If you're going to show, you just proved through the Gemara and Shabbat that Hareval is the right way to show it. You can't learn from Ephod, because Ephod, the guy could have made teshuvah, and then his name would have been on. Then why did Yaakov tell him, that if you sin, you're out? What, Yosef is not allowed to make teshuvah? No, not higher standard, wise guy. And also, Im Tomad, if you want to say from the Hashash that he might not make teshuvah, that's the issue about letting your kids. There's a concept that people have. I'm not going to say my thoughts on it because it's irrelevant. But they say let them do what they want. Let them do what they want. And let the kids do. 1 second, Ohi, let me speak. They said let them go through it, and they'll find their own way. It's a very dangerous way to think, because if you know yourself through your life, the mistakes that I have made in my life, I don't want my kids to repeat. And if you had someone that the kid has an asset. The asset is called parents, an advisor. Right, Kevin? You have a business. When I have a problem, I call an advisor. Ask me what to do. Tell me what to do. I call my rabbi. It's still an advisor. I ask him, well, should I do this? Should I not? I remember I called him once. There was a business deal I wanted to do, but maybe it wasn't so kosher. I wasn't really sure. So the rabbi tells me, Rabbi Azikot, he goes, I don't know the answer, but I know that the Yetzer Hara is usually the one that pushes. It's usually not the Yetzer Hara saying go give charity. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with that. I walked away. But you have an asset. You have to let them utilize it. Whether they listen to you or not is a different story. Chances are half the time they're not gonna listen to you. But you know what? They know that it's you deposited the information in their heads. When they decide to cash out and use it is on them. That's on them. But don't send them outside and let them figure it out. That's mean. Because you're there to show them and to help them. You want to challenge them? Challenge them. It's okay. By the way, I say in my house, adversity is best served at home. You understand? Let me teach my kids the hard lessons here before they go outside. Because once they hit the streets, no one's going to care about them. You understand? So let me.
The thing with Yitro, when he says, "Hey, I want to make a condition that Gershon should go out in the world and walk around."
Very good. Very good. That's why one's name's Eliezer, the other's Gershom, because he made a deal with him. He says, "I'll let you marry Sipora Dior, but the first kid has to go to Avodah Zarah."
It wasn't necessarily it was just finding his own way.
So that's the.
What's the deal?
Yitro tells, you don't know this one. Yitro tells Moshe, he tells him, I don't remember if it's, I'll let you marry Sipora, I'll let you go to Mitzrayim. I don't know which, probably Sipora. To go to Mitzrayim? I don't remember which one, but he goes, no. And he tells.
Moshe gets the message from God. He comes back to his father-in-law Yitro.
I don't remember the details, but yeah. And he tells, I don't know if it was that or to marry Sipora. I don't remember which one the Midrash was. Right. But he tells him, he goes, I'll let you marry Sipora, but the first kid you have to donate to Avodah Zarah. You have to let him live a life of Avodah Zarah. So the Mepashim said, what does that even mean? How come Moshe ever allow that? Right. So he's like, what does that mean? He goes, no, let him find his own way. The second kid was named what? Eliezer. Why Eliezer? No, he's an Eved from birth. He starts with Hashem from day one. But the Goyim's way is let them find their own way. Right. You understand? Our way is Mesorah. We have value. You want to pass that to your kid. You don't want them to figure it out. Why? For what purpose? Trust me, there's going to be enough questions that they have that they're consciously going to have to deal with on their own regardless. We don't have to add more.
So you can say that Reuben is the limit for all the Balet Tshuva. He's a representative. Yeah.
Nice.
He's the Rosh of the Balet Tshuva.
You know, Reuven's, I think he's buried in his Kever. Reuven is in the north.
Yeah,
I
I've
think.
been there. I think I've
We
been
know where it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We
I've
know
been
around
out
it.
there
God,
one
I knows in the north also. Okay, so let's go back to Yosef, Asadik, right? So what's the question? That if you want to say that, the question was, why did Yaakov tell Yosef that you're not going to be able to, that your name won't be on the ephod if he could have done teshuvah? Why are you taking that option away from him? So the first thing he says, maybe you want to say that you might not make teshuvah. You might not. Right? מפני החשש שלא יעשה תשובה, או משום שלא יהיה נראה כמו... Huh? That what? Well, that doesn't fit. The question on Reuven. No, we're not going to say that. We're asking, why did Yaakov?
Why didn't it apply the concept of tshuva? You could have asked that question on Reuven as well. He could have not done tshuva also.
But we're not saying that here. It's not going to be an okay answer. We're saying.
No, but I'm asking. I'm going back and I'm asking that question on the answer.
Because what do you mean? Everyone has the option to make teshuvah.
So then why would Joseph?
But that's why.
So that's the question. That's the question.
He may have made.
Listen to the question. The question is why. I'm sorry. Why is it that if you're able to that if you're that Reuven, right? First option was that Reuven did not make any sin. Second option is that maybe he sinned, but he made teshuvah right away. Therefore, his name's on the ephod. So because he had that safek and you don't know which one, he didn't use that as an example to prove that Reuven did not sin.
But the thing with the Reuven is that there wasn't a chashash that he did not do teshuvah. It was one of the two. He either didn't sin or he did teshuvah. There wasn't the option.
The Gemara Shabbat doesn't talk about if they sinned or not, if he made teshuvah or not. Yeah. What do we get? The sale package? We're good? So it's not about if you made teshuvah or not. They ask the Gemara deals with if he sinned or not. That's what the Gemara deals with, if he sinned or not. We're done over here. It's the next part. So the question is on Yosef Sadiq, why? Right? So or you might want to say that maybe Yaakov was afraid that people might call, maybe Yaakov was afraid that he wouldn't make teshuvah. Or maybe Yaakov was afraid that he's going to be labeled as the guy that says, I'll sin, I'll make the teshuvah later. Because that's also no good, like it says in Yomah. Im ken kasher, lama min hashamayim, why from Shamayim were they more makpid on Yosef, not the sin, versus the Reuven? That's the question. That the fact that they said the image of Yaakov Avinu on the window to make sure he goes away from sin, and they didn't do that to Reuven either. Why did they do that to Reuven? If they had all these hashash, all right, about Yosef actually God forbid sinning, right? Then why don't you what's the word? Not accrue, do Reuven with the same pleasantries, the same whatever. It's so mean. So listen to this. This is scary stuff. This is the end of it. Ve'yesh lomad de'ahet shel Yosef ayahet yoter gadol. Because if Yosef Sadiq would have sinned, it would have been worse. Why? And not only that,
Higher standard.
she'en lo tikun kol kach maher. The tikun could not be accomplished so quickly, like it was if Reuven actually did sin. Why? It says in Eruvin. You ready for this, tough guy? It's not the case. Masechet Eruvin. I remember learning this. Yutet Amud Aleph tells you that the kol haposhim ate Abraham umkabelehu. Abraham Avinu himself stands at the gates of Geinam and pulls out every Yehud that walks in. Except the Baal Mi'Yisrael sheba haba al nochrit delo nevashkele. Except the exclusion of one that goes with a non-Jewish woman because he doesn't recognize him.
Married or not? It doesn't matter.
Not married. A nochri. But listen, what?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Nochri. But I looked at the Gemara. What does it say over there in Eruvin? It explains. We have a bottle opener. We the old days, the nochri, the what's it called, woman would hide the guy's brit milah.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. but because if the goya or the guy would do it himself, it's specifically talking about a guy who's embarrassed of his brit milah, or the goya doesn't want to see the brit milah, so she'll cover it somehow.
Doesn't it create an orla also?
Huh?
Does
it create an orla?
It creates
I
a
don't
new
know.
orla. That's the
I don't
point in Ruchnius.
That I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure that has a problem. So the fact that so what's the issue of Yosef? That it was with a goya, not that it was with Bilha. Bilha was Jewish. Eshet Ish problem. We try,
She was Jewish?
Oh, of course, right? Yaakov Avinu.
I mean, she was concubine. She wasn't married.
Doesn't matter. It's Kodesh.
Her sister.
Kodesh. ובעל כורחו צריך להיות נידון and בעל כורחו צריך להיות נידון באש הגיהינום. And he's going to have to face the fires of Gehinnom because he was with the Nochriya. That again, what does the Gemara say in Eruvin? That there's something with the Nochriya would cover the Olah, cover the Brit Milah in order not to see it. I don't know how. I don't know the
Maybe
details.
he's talking spiritually that it got covered because it was.
Give me Eruvin behind you. Eruvin right there. No, right, no, the other side, no, Aleph, yeah. You take them with that. Let's look it up. For the guys that are a little nervous. Sorry, that wasn't
I
fun.
once wrote to the art scroll of Chumash about this whole sugya because I said like you need to explain it a bit more than just quote it, because a lot of people are coming to
You're gonna get
Bala
nervous?
Tshuva who are nervous,
Yeah.
and they want to understand it in context of tshuva instead of just bringing the marshar and just making
there are
leaving
ways,
it open.
There are ways of doing Shabbat for it. Absolutely.
There's always ways.
But they need to bring it if it's an English writing.
You have to realize the difference between shogeg and mezid. You have to realize all the Baalei Teshuvahs out there.
It's like it's part of the life there.
You have to know the difference between being shogeg or an es. Doing something knowingly or doing something unknowingly. I remember, by the way, listening Rabbi Eli Mansour. Okay, Rabbi Eli Mansour. He said before he got married to his wife, he tells her, he goes, "You ever listen to Rabbi Eli Mansour? You would like him. You would like him. Yeah, you would like him.
Great.
Harif. Right. No music." He tells his wife, he goes, I know, I'm in Kollel now, he says, and I don't know all the rules. I don't know the halachot. I'm learning. But as I learn, I want to be able to just come home and tell you, I learned this halakha, I want to implement it because I want to do what the Torah says. And he tells her, are you okay with that? Before they get married. So she goes, yes. So he says, I would come home sometimes, I learned this, it doesn't affect their lives too much, or whatever. But you got to be ready to go. I know when I go to work, I know there's problems. I don't know what, I don't know where, I don't know. I have no idea yet. I just know I'm ready. When you're going to work out and you're not ready to work out, it's a very different workout than when you're ready to work out. You know what I mean? You got to be ready. The fire's got to be on.
It takes an extra half hour or 20 minutes to get set up. Yeah.
Where?
When you're not ready to work out.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. So let's look at it. So you find it over here. Oh, you find it.
Yeah.
You take them without Eruvin. Okay, so that's the difference between Reuven and Yosef. Let's review. We asked the question. We brought a Gemara in Shabbat. Rabbi Shimon ben Rabbi Elazar. He says that Reuven was saved from the sin, because otherwise, how do you expect that his offspring would be standing by Hareval saying, "Curses the man who sleeps with a married woman," because Hashem wouldn't do that, right? But the question was, why did the Gemara use the pasuk by Ki Tavo in Devarim? Why don't you use something in Bereshit, right? When Yosef, we know that Yaakov comes to Yosef by Eshet Potifar, and he tells him, "Don't do it. If you do, your name's going to be off." And the fact that Reuven's name is not off and it's on should be proof enough that he didn't sleep with Eshet Ish. That's the question. And then we answered that saying what? We said that you can't say that because maybe there's a safek. What's the safek? The safek is that maybe he made teshuvah. Maybe Reuven made teshuvah. Maybe God forbid he did do it, and then after that he goes, you know what? I made a mistake, and he made teshuvah. And if he made teshuvah, then he got back on the ephod. So he can't use that. So what's the better answer? We say that and we say Hareval is the better thing.
Sounds like she physically does it.
Yes.
But it's Ruchnius. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Where you see that?
That's the understanding of it.
Look what it says. Vahu the mehayeve haish ata begehinom ve'ate Abraham aviru umasik lehu mkabel lehu. The pasuk means which pasuk? Ovre be'emek hablacha be'aini shitu gam bercho yitei yichum echai v'chayil. Right. So it says it's Abraham Avinu. So it means those who transgress are sent to the depths of Gehinnom, where they are swept away, which indicates because what early in the Gemara, Reish Shaki says that Bnei Yisrael do not go to Gehinnom. Which at that point when I learned that, I'm like, hey, I'm good. Nothing go further. Apparently you gotta, and we find something else. So, but we said, what are you talking about? We know that Abraham Avinu comes and stands by the gate of Gehinnom, and he brings them out of Gehinnom. Bar means with the exception. Me'Yisrael sheba al bat avodat kochavim, the Gemara says. With exclude the idolatress, right? De mashcha orlato. That she draws his foreskin over circumcision and hides his Jewish identity. Okay? Velo me bashkar le, and Abraham doesn't recognize him. So it's really the woman's fault once again, because she covers it. So because he added a pagam to himself, the Abraham doesn't get to see. That's the words of Gemara. So if he would have went with Eshe Potifar, she would have did that. And then the tikkun would have been much stronger because Abraham would not see and not be able to take him out, and he would have to go through the fires of Gehinnom. And if you have to go through the fire of Gehinnom, he can't be on the effort. And that's why Yaakov Avinu told him, if you do this, you're out.
Asnat went through conversion.
Osnat, I don't know. I'm sure Yosef converted her. Osnat was the bad. No, she didn't need conversion.
She was Dina's daughter.
She was Dinah's daughter.
So how was she Eshet Potiphar's house?
Adopted.
So the story with Shimon and
Adopted. Shimon, right? What happened?
Didn't she throw?
When she threw the thing,
She threw like.
then they gave her a
Kamiyah.
amulet.
Yeah.
Kamiyah,
It's a
read in
nice
Hebrew.
Yaakov.
Read in Hebrew. The boy he took in the house, Shimon married Dinah after, because Dinah wanted to stay by Hamor. He said, what am I supposed to do? No one's going to take me. I'm used goods. So he says, don't worry, I'll take you. So her brother took the sister. That what? Which curse?
Playing with your father's daughter or your mother's daughter.
No, someone gets the blessings. Someone gets the blessings. Someone doesn't get the curses.
Says he married her.
He doesn't know what they're talking about.
Midah says he married her.
But Osnat wasn't from Shimon.
Married her. Says she support her. Married her. What do you want? It was back in the day. Do what you got to do.
There was no Torah then.
Yeah. But so the machloket is, was there Torah or not today? So they say one of the opinions is that inside of Eretz Yisrael they kept the Torah. Outside they did not. Right? Or they had more leeway, call it. Well, you didn't have to. Right. So anyway, we learned from this that Eshet Ish is bad. It's bad. And the difference between Reuven and Yosef, by the way, just shows you the Tanaim how strong they were in Torah. You understand? We would read the Gemara, but would never ask a question, never ask one way or another. And what's the difference? We would say, it's a good question. We're not going to say, why did you learn from Yosef? But the Zera Shimshon committed himself to Torah. So inshallah, we should all commit ourselves to Torah, and we should get to such levels.
Nice.
I mean, go ahead. We're going to end off on a very nice note.
This is all part of section 1. Yeah.
There's no part. There's just classes, please. There's no part A, part B. Amendments, the writer A, Sasha, hook me up. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now,
If I should keep going on the...
keep going. Don't matter. Chet, 8.
You're going to do another one after
It's
this?
527 in the art scroll.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'm
All right.
going to start a new video.
יבטח השם לך את אוצרו הטוב ואת השמיים ותת מטר עשיך ביתו ולברך את כל מעשי ידיך. Who knows what that means? Okay. You just got here.
I'm so sorry, I'm collapsing here.
This is okay. Hashem's giving you all the good now.
It's cool though. It's good seeing you.
He wants to make you feel better.
See how Shabbat, right?
Yeah.
Had a good summer?
Yeah, I had a great summer.
How old are you now?
I'm 14.
14. Very good. Wow. I can
So far.
I'm
What? Where are you going? High school? So
What is it called?
Derchavot.
It's in a front. Derchavot, yeah.
It's a new one.
Going to ninth grade?
Yeah.
You too?
It's a nice one.
Nice dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yiftach Hashem.
All right. Let's go, boys.
Tov.
What are the berachot that Hashem gives you? Wait, listen. Let me say this pasuk and then walk out. So you walk out with a beracha. Hashem's going to open up the otzar shamayim. That's all the tov that's in shamayim, and give the water and give the money, right?
That's
when you
all your
need it,
handiwork.
and also in the right time, and also He's going to give a beracha on everything that you do. All right, so the pasuk says, "Vayivtach Hashem lecha et otzaro atov." Hashem's going to open up the storehouses, all the good storehouses that are in Shamayim, and to give the metar secha beito, to give the land all the good, the rain in the right time. Uvarech, and will also give beracha to everything that you do. Okay. The Hakamim say in the Midrash and in the Gemara and Masechet Ta'anit, they say, what is it? My ulvarech. And Hashem will bless you with everything that the money in your pocket. What does that mean? She'afilu peruta shebakis mitbarechet bo. That even the money in your pocket is also going to be blessed. That's the explanation of the Gemara and the Midrash. But there's a question on this. What is the kesher? What is the connection between rain in your land and the money in your pocket? What's the connection between the rain in the land?
Isn't the money that you have based on the rain? In other words, in your olden days, for sure.
So the Meharsha asks this question and gives an answer, but the problem is it's still one beracha then. Because if the effects of the good rains on your field is in a good spot, that means visto facto that your money is going to be in your pocket because you're going to have a good whatever. So it's still one beracha. It's not two. That's the question.
Money in your pocket is sort of past. Rain is the faith aspect.
Huh?
Rain brings in the faith aspect.
Why? If there's rain, there's no faith. I just got the rain.
No, Amunah is connected with Zroim. Yeah.
Why?
All Indian of Zroim is Amunah, is rain. It's all connected to Amunah.
Okay.
The state of Zroim is connected. Amunah is Techa.
Fine, but the question here is, how is it two different berachot? How is it two different berachot? The rain in the land. Yeah, but by telling me that you're gonna have a good year, you're gonna have money in your account. That's all one berachah. It's not two berachot.
Why not?
Because it's not. The Torah is very medakdek on its letters and the words of the diktuk on everything. Okay. If it's written a specific way, it is two berachot. It is not the derivative of the first berachah. It is two separate berachot. So how is it two berachot? So the Meharsha says, "She'imi ten mata beito tiyeh tibwa bezol." Okay, one of the first words I learned in Israel. Cheap.
Zol.
Zol.
Or rega.
The Meharsha says that. Right. All right. That if you get land, if you get water, boys, if you get rain in the right time, the teruah is going to be cheap. And then you'll have why? Because something that you could buy for $5 or 5 shekels, you can buy for 2 shekels. So by definition, you can have more money. But again, the Zera Shimshon says, but then just don't say anything. Just end the beracha by saying, I'm going to know that I'm going to have more money. It's got to be 2 berachot. That's still 1 beracha like we said before. Right? Yuvan Shapir b'may amrin b'baba batra perek. What was it? Fifth perek. Sorry. It's talking about, you ready for this, boys, since we live in Israel? Come. You are welcomed. Come sit over here, please, right next to me. Sit, it's not a... okay, give a finger, take a hand, is that what it is? Sit down. Okay. When are you allowed to leave Israel? Oh, I don't want to burst everyone's bubble.
Three reasons.
Never.
What are the 3 reasons?
Learning Torah.
Learning Torah?
Finding a wife.
No.
Finding a wife.
I had to ask that question.
Leaving.
What's the second question?
Finding a wife.
Finding a wife.
A spouse. And parnasah.
And parnasah. Learning, which means Torah. Parnasah. And finding a wife.
There's so many people leave for kibbut avim, for sure. The simchas.
I had to ask.
I don't know if that's.
Listen, you guys have to start asking, what does Shulchan Aruch say? You need to get in the habit of saying, what's the halakha?
You don't have
Yeah,
to
but I've
listen to
asked
them, but
Rabbanim
you
and
have to
they've said
respect
bye-bye.
them.
Don't guess.
I'm telling you.
You don't. That's wrong. That's the complete opposite. You don't wait. Say it again.
You don't have to listen to
Oh, you're
everything
correct.
they say, but
You have to respect it. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
So, but now what happens? What happened in my case? I asked my rabbi. What happens? If my mother tells me you can't go. Let's say she commands me not to go.
That's to live. We're not talking about visit.
I'm just asking personal experience. People like it when I share personal experiences.
International man of mystery.
So obviously the halakha is no. The halakha is no.
Yeah, that means to not live.
No, sorry. Good question. Very fair. I wasn't specific. You don't have to listen. If she commands you, you don't have to listen. Fine. I had to ask. You have to know the halakha. The other guy, I remember asking. I got this in the same fervor. I remember getting the same question when I first got married, and I asked my rabbi, same rabbi. I asked him. I go, do I have to respect my in-laws as the same as my parents?
Ooh, good question.
And he answers, yep. Like the same,
Really?
like, yeah.
Just listen to them, but
The other way
No,
around,
you
not
have
so
to-
simple though.
What?
For the wife's side, and if there's some abuse or something.
Stop with the trauma. Stop it. Just respect the parents.
Damage.
Look, I mean,
Stop with your emotional
respecting them the same way you respect your parents doesn't mean that you need to listen to everything they say.
It's
It's not listening, it's respecting.
Excuse me. and
Yakut
doing what
Yosef
they
has
say.
2 volumes on Kibud Avayim.
in English.
2, but not yet. But you almost done with the first volume?
Almost.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I'm like this
I'm
much left.
salivating to give you the
You
second
don't even
one.
know. Every day I'm like, I'm getting closer. I'm like, this
Amazing.
much left.
Is it beautiful?
It's special, and it's just getting halachas in right in the morning. It's
awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I do
Well, that's
Shmirat
what-
Learn
Hanashon,
halakha.
and I just ordered the art scroll
Very good.
Shmirat Hanashon on Amazon.
Nice.
I heard good things
Shlecha.
about it.
Yes, very good. Okay, so now what does he say about leaving Israel? Rabba bar Hana Amari Yohanan. What happens if there's a famine? Are you allowed? What variables are needed in order for you to be able to leave the land? Lo shanu ela b'ma'od bezol uperot beyoker. They didn't say that you could leave Israel if there's a famine unless that money is cheap, but the price of food is double. The Gemara says double.
Money's cheap, but the cost is more.
Money's cheap, but the cost is more. Exactly right. But how much more? The Gemara says double. You got to know what the Gemara says. The Gemara says double. Okay? Aval, however, ma'ot beyoker, money that's expensive, afilu amdu arba'a sein besela, even if it turns 4 se'ah with a cost of a selah, which I think is the normal price for wheat, yotzin me'aretz lechutz la'aretz. You're allowed to leave the land, which means what?
Yeah.
If money is expensive,
What does that mean?
normally, okay, so to make it simpler,
There's
I'm
not
sorry,
so much
no, because I
inflation.
thought about it. What are interest rates? You don't deal with interest rates all day. I mean, if something, let's say you normally do a job, let's say electrician, we have a very good electrician here in his bar can't hook him up, sign him up, call him up, give him some work. It's a good idea. If you do a job that normally costs 200, but now for some reason it went down to 100, right? That's ma'ot beyoker. I'll give you another example. COVID. For some reason, I don't get the memo and I don't get the email, but apparently everybody wants more money to do the same job. Okay? To get the guy that I was paying $9 an hour, I couldn't get anybody. I had to give everybody an increase to $11 an hour. That's a lot of money. Okay? We're talking about 100,000, a couple of thousand hours a week of work. Okay? Why? Just because. I don't know. Chinese, I don't know. It happened. So that's another example of ma'od beyoker. Money's expensive, which means you have to work harder to make the same amount of money. That your time is valuable. So now you're spending more of your valuable time right? It doesn't work. So even if that happens, but the price of food stays the same, you're allowed to leave. So for instance, during COVID, when the dollar, right, with the exchange rate, actually no, it's the opposite. So it's down, right? You can't leave. You can't leave. Can't leave now. It's 3-8. Yishtabach Shemolad. Right then.
For everybody.
Those were the days. Ve'im ken, and if so, remember we said, how is this
Kevin
pasuk?
has a question.
Yes, sir.
Does the same rule apply the other way where it has to be 50%? In other words, in the previous example, it has to be double. And in
Money. Oh, so the question is, what is the threshold for expensive money? Great question. I don't know. I have to look at the Gemara. You know what, Ellie? Look at over there. Bottom right. Show your bones. We all look at the source. Show your bones. Okay, Sadi Aleph Amud Bet. No, it's probably the third volume. No. I don't know. That's a great question. No, I'm not missing it. Baba Batra.
Third volume's missing. But the third volume is here.
Sadi, no, I want you to look it up. I'm a little busy right now. No, it's in the second one. By the way, you know how much each volume weighs? About 7 pounds. Why do I know this?
You brought it back with you in the
I brought it back from the States.
And you didn't
And they
get
stopped
charged.
me. And they stopped me in customs. And it was a girl's custom agent, and she opens up the suitcase because I have 3 suitcases, and 2 of them were books, and because I get 3, so she opens up and sees. She goes, "Wow!" She goes, "You read all this?" And I go, "Yeah," and she goes, "Wow!"
How you doing?
I go, "Can I zip my bag, please? Can I get out of here, please?" Okay. So now, right.
Yeah.
So look it up. Find the answer of how expensive does the money have to get?
So it says, only said that one may not leave Eretz Yisrael unless the price of food has risen so high that a seller can buy only 2 seah. Rabbi Baba Chana said in the name of Yochanan, Lo Shanu, they taught this rule in the Bryce only regards when money is inexpensive. People have money to spend, but produce is expensive. However, money is expensive, the economy is depressed, and people have no money, then even if the price of 4 seah of wheat stands at a seller, its normal price one may leave the land of Israel.
Any notes there?
Yeah, underneath, Rambam brings, when drought famine strikes, due to leaders to
Slowly,
gather the people
I can't understand.
and lead them in praying for God's mercy. This is applied by the verse when you cry out. This is because of the difficult situation here. That's
You're not
previous
helping.
one.
So, but you said
Before.
no. That's the normal price of wheat. That's even if the cost of food stays the same, but the money is hard to get. But Kevin's question was, how hard does it have to get? You understand the question? He wants to know. We said before, food has to double. Right. So what? Double? What do you mean? Milk,
No,
eggs.
The amount of work that you're.
Is it that you're
The work,
supposed
it's
to
not the
leave?
actual-
or
So
is it
if the
that
cost,
you're-
no, in the market, in the shuk, if it's double the price, if the cost of the shuk is double the price, that's what it's talking about. So, but if ma'od beyoker, if money is expensive, the economy is depressed, and people have no money. Okay, good. So you have to look at Rambam Hilchot Melachim and Lechem Mishneh. You want to look it up? Look up. There's Rambam over there. Hilchot Melachim. You have to stand up for this one. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Hilchot Melachim. You're going to look up this one because I got to continue. So, but he just says that it's depressed. How depressed? I don't know, but it says depressed. I mean, I guess you could say if the depression hits, you kind of just know. But I don't have a number to give you. But maybe he brings the sources that Rambam. Maybe that she has something to
When the money are cheap.
Yeah, go ahead.
The price goes up twice. And then
When
the money-
no, 1 second, say it again. Go ahead. What do you mean when money is cheap?
When the money are inexpensive, but the price goes double, you can go. When the money are expensive, even if the price stays the same, you are also allowed to go.
So it says that she says that the Gemara explains it later. No, I'm listening. I'm sorry. Go ahead, say it again. That's a great one.
The money are cheap, but
That's
the
a great
price
line.
goes up.
The price, say again?
Money cheap,
No. No, it should be there.
Look upstairs.
No, asur to go upstairs. I get in trouble. Look again. It's on the. You see that on the? Yeah, that's right.
When the money, there are two conditions, not two conditions, two situations.
Right, situation.
Money cheap, double price, go.
Right. Good.
Money expensive, price stays the same,
Go.
go. So it's not about the price.
No.
It's about
Not
the-
go, you're allowed.
You're
allowed.
Whatever, yeah.
Sasha, don't worry. Don't get nervous, Sasha.
Don't go, stay.
So then it's a function of the money. In other words, how cheap is cheap or how expensive is expensive. Not the price. Price will know.
Okay. It says the Gemara explains it. Wow, what a juicy Gemara. But I heard Rabbi Beta in Brooklyn, Rabbi Raymond Beta, I think. He says whenever you need to look up anything, like if you have a Divrei Torah, you need to say anything, open up any Gemara and look for any daf that has a lot of words. It's usually Agadah. So you'll find something juicy. If you have something like this, just turn the page. It's not gonna be anything you can tell over. Okay, so fine. So again, now what is it? So let's wrap it up. So that what are we saying here? I don't have the answer to the question, but it's a good question. So Ma'od Beyoket, I feel I'm doing even if the price of wheat is the same, you're allowed to leave. So now what are you learning from this? That even if the price of wheat stays the same, but money is expensive, you're allowed to leave. So now that he says,
it's about your purchasing power. That's all there is to it. It's not really a super deep.
if the
purchasing power
no, if the food doubles in price, even if the money stays the same, you can leave.
Makes no difference. If all of a sudden
Does.
I'm making $1 million a year, so triple the prices. I won't notice.
Does not matter. Excuse me. We don't care about you burning money.
No.
If the price of milk doubles, you're allowed to leave.
Can I
That's
read
a
the
good
Rambam? Can I read the Rambam?
My money.
Yeah. Did you have the exact spot? Is he going to answer the question?
I hope so.
I
After the
look it
saints
over
married to
first.
Israel, l'chutz la'aretz la'olam, ela l'limud Torah, walisa isha, or lahatzu miyad goyim,
Get to the answer. Look it over and then tell us. Don't do it now. Look it over. And then. Reuben, listen. Reuben, if the money, if the cost of okay.
V'ma'atavar memorim b'shal ha'maras ha'mitzuis ha'peres b'yoker, avo im ha'peres b'zol, lo yamatzumaz, lo b'mash yishtake abada pruta min akis. Yotze l'chol mokom shemotze bo revach, af al pi shemuta l'seitz. Ein amidas ha'chasidus, shayim macholen, chiyalon, shnei gedolei ador hayu.
I don't understand Ashkenaz. Thank you.
Ibris.
Sorry. Which one? What are we talking about? That the ma'ot money is found, but the cost of things are. Shh. Listen. Boys, please. If the cost of fruits are cheap, but you can't find money. ולא במה יסתכל ועבדה פירוטה מן הכיס, יצא כל מקום ימצא בו רווח. ואף על פי שמותר לצאת, אין עמידת חסידות, שהרי מחלום וחיון שני גדולי הדור היו, ובפני שרה גדולה יצאו ונתחייבו כליה במקום. Wow, amazing. And the next part of the Gemara, by the way, the next page talks about Machlon v'Chilion. Who knows who they are?
They were from Ruth.
Right. Not from Ruth.
From Naomi married her daughters.
Right.
They
were the sons. They were the son of Naomi.
Yeah.
In Ruth. Megillat Ruth. Beautiful. Megillat Ruth is unbelievable.
The whole thing is so crazy.
So beautiful. But the Rambam says that they were Gedolei Ador, Machlon v'Chilion. They weren't.
No, they were not simple guys.
It's crazy. Sharei Machlon v'Chilion, Sherei Gedolei Ador hayu. Umipnei Sara Gedolah yatzu. And because of the Sarah, they had a famine. V'hi b'mei shevot hashofetim, v'hi ra'a ba'aretz. Right? So they left. Right? The Bimperez Sarah Gedolah, they left from the very beginning. Venithayevu kelaya lamakom. They were sentenced to death because they left. They were not supposed to leave.
But that's because they left the nation behind.
Because really what they did, Abimelech was like the governor, was like so when he left, it was just very, very like everybody it was very sad for everybody because like he was the guy. And he just left.
Okay.
So bottom line, Rabbi Yohanan, by the way, says he remembers living in Tiberia. Guys, let's go. He remembers in Tiberia that that the price was normal. The price of food was normal. The price of food was normal, but everybody's walking around with swollen bellies. Why? They were starving because they had no money, right? That's why the pasuk says, "Ubarich et kol maaseh yadecha," that even the money in your pocket, you're gonna have money. Because even if you have food in the house or in the stores, but you can't purchase it, it doesn't do you any good. You understand? Gold in the desert, when you need water, it doesn't do anything for you. So he's saying he's gonna give you everything you need in the right when you follow the Torah. When you follow the Torah, boys. When you go to shul every day, you put on tzitzit, you pray with a minyan, you follow Shabbat. Hashem is going to reward you twofold. One, he's going to let it rain in the right time. Which, by the way, Baruch, if you got 15 jobs all for the same day, is that good or bad? Bad. You can't hit 15 spots in one day. But 15 jobs over the month is beautiful, or 30 jobs over the month, or whatever, in a way that I can actually get it is good. So that's the first berachah. The word says beito, right? Beitam. Beito, we say it every day in Shema. Beito, in the right time. And the second thing, ulbarech et kol maaseh yadecha, and you can have a berachah in everything that you do, which we know what Rashi says and the Gemara says, what? The money that's in your pocket. Because if you have money, but it's in the wrong time or the wrong place, like the desert doesn't do you any good. And if I have money, if I have food, but I have no money, it's not a real beracha. It's not a beracha gemura. So to show you that everything will align and everything will happen in the right exact way, that's the beracha. Boys, follow the Torah. I'm begging you. Every chance, people say, this guy's crazy because I don't care. Don't worry. No one's going to say I'm crazy for trying to go in too many business deals. No one's going to say that about me. Why? Because it doesn't matter. The guy's trying to make a buck. We know what he's trying to do.
He's saying it about
Trying to make money. We need to try to grab zechuyot in Olam Hazeh and in Olam Haba. Mesirai Shalim explains this is a prosdor. This is just a gateway, just an entranceway when you go into a restaurant. Corridor, you go into the first room and then you go into the main room. Teach your children. This is what it's about. It's all about. I tell you the story that I said at Shabbat. I'll say it again. Okay, you weren't there. We went to go see Rav Amram Fried. Rav Amram Fried has seven cordless phones on the table, and he has 3 avrechim on the other side, and he's sitting on the side, and he's on the phone, and all the phones are ringing.
Yeah. That was pretty timely.
Right? And all the phones are ringing. And he's on the phone, 3 avrechim on the other side. All the phones are an automatic speaker. Automatic speaker. Why? Because the rabbi's going to listen. So I answered myself 5 of these phone calls, myself. I sat next to the rabbi. It's so cute. Okay, you know me, I giggle. Right next to the rabbi. And you say, Shalom Hashela. I promise. The first time they give me the phone, I didn't know. They go, Aneh. I go, Aneh what? I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to say? Let's just pick up the phone. So I pick up the phone. And he goes, Shalom. You hear the other guy on the other line. Shalom. I go, hi, Shalom. Hi. Then he starts talking. The guy starts talking. So then he speaks. And now the rabbi's on the phone. He goes, Ben Kamahu. And then the guy responds. And then he answers him. And then he goes back to his phone call. But he's having 4 different calls, all Pesak Halacha, they want to know. They're all calling for Halacha questions. Could be about Shabbat, could be about Kashrut, could be about Nidah, could be about the family. Don't know. He's answering all of them. Amazing. So it was really something. Now, by the way, how did we get in? You got to ask me how I got in.
How'd you get in?
Glad you asked, Yosef.
There was Gemara says that you can't hear 2 voices at the same time.
Where?
Anywhere. It's not heard. Gemara says that. I don't remember where Gemara says that.
I do remember learning that.
Yeah,
I do remember learning that.
It's not at the same time.
It's not at the same time.
It's almost at the same time.
It's similar, One halacha.
It's halacha as well.
Yeah, it's
He's
one
right.
halacha.
For Kriyat Torah.
So listen, you're right. You're right. I remember learning that. It's very, very good eye, by the way. That's a nice right. So listen. So we had a friend who, God bless, gave whatever, and we name dropped. So the guy's like, "Oh, you're friends of him? Come in." So they really accepted us, and they diverted all the calls for 30 minutes to another room. that there's a whole room. We saw the room of like 4, 5, 6 rabbis sitting there and answering the phones. They give them the answer. What they don't know the answer to, they write it down. They'll go ask the rabbi later, and they'll call them back. Okay? We got 30 minutes. 30 minutes with the rabbi. It was me and 2 of my friends. I got 15 of those 30. Okay, it was crazy. Really, the rabbi liked me. He was holding my hand. I was like, I was over it. It's crazy. When we get in the car, listen to me. Ross's kid. Listen to me. You ready? Yeah. So you heard the story or no? I ain't repeating it. It was a good story. It's okay. Inshallah, this should be the last thing you missed in your life. So just say okay. So I get into the car with the gabbai, and I tell the gabbai, I go, I'm happy, it's beautiful, but I'm a little sad.
Oh yeah.
Remember? And I still think about it till today. He goes, why? He goes, because if I was in business, if I was in my office and 3 people came to me and asked me the same question, or 3 different questions, I'd be able to answer. I could do that. I could do that. I could say yes, no, I could do that. The fact that someone's able to do that, the fact that someone's able to do that just shows that we all have the mental capacity to actually do it. But because we were trained as kids.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, great. Money. Why is it that you know your TV shows right by heart, but you don't remember Gemara you learned this week?
Probably, yeah.
Because it's what you allow your brain to go in.
Not everyone has that gift.
Do you remember? Excuse me.
Not everyone can sit there and listen to 7 conversations and be able to give the halacha over.
No, you are the I understand. It's a fair point. You are very, you could only do, I'm saying me. I was saying me. I could do that.
You could do 7 halacha?
No, but business I can. My business I can, which means I have the capacity to do such a thing. That's the point. That's what I was saying. It's beautiful. I'm a little whatever, but it's beautiful.
And training too.
Wow.
You've trained yourself to be an expert in your field.
Of course, that's my job. Why? Because my whole life, money. If we train our kids, Torah, they could reach such levels. I promise you, you don't have to convince your kid to make money. I promise you, they'll figure that out on their own. Everyone has that inner desire to make money. You understand? But the whole concept is to teach your kids what they're not going to learn outside. They're going to learn about money. They're going to learn about getting married. You still have to teach them about getting married, good family, Yirat Shamayim. That's what you have to teach them, yes. But teach them about the importance of Torah. Teach them about the importance of Torah. That's the key. Everything else will just fall. Don't worry about it. They'll cover it. You understand? And Be'ezrat Hashem, in the zechut of our learning, Zera Shimshon, who gives a haftaha, that we'll be able to, you'll see Yeshuot. Everybody in this room should be able to see Yeshuot this week, Be'ezrat Hashem. And we should be together until Mashiach comes. Amen. Amen. And should be Nishmat Ab Shemuel ben Hanan, Rabbi Hanaya ben Kisha, Amen. Asag Baruch Hu Zakot Yisrael Ifich, Torah Moshe Leman. Adonai Hafez. Lemas Gagit Torah Ve'adid. Amen. Oh, better one. Keep moving.
We could do
Yeah. We have 10 that washed.
Remember, we got Shirim going on again, another
Can we see a count of hands for wash?
and Rabbi.
I want to remind everybody.
All the washers.
I don't think we have 10.
No, we don't. Rabbi Hanaya ben Kisha, Asag Baruch Hu Zakot Yisrael Ifich, Torah Moshe Leman. Adonai Hafez. Lemas Gagit Torah Ve'adid. Amen.